to another episode of 630 Skirmishers. I'm your host, Kevin. Alongside with me is Graham. This is the way, Carlson.
This is the way. The Mandalorians are here. Kevin, can you believe it, dude? You've been talking about this for 9 years. The game's only been around for 5.
Asking for it.
How old is Legion now?
It's finally here, and
Legion just turned 8 this year.
I don't care.
What an eighth birthday gift to us.
8 years?
8 years, man.
Oh, man, that's crazy. It doesn't seem like 8 years.
No, it doesn't. But I actually have a release. I don't know. I'm a nerd. So I made a spreadsheet of all the Legion releases or whatever. And that core set, the original Galactic Civil War 2-player core set, came out in March of 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I started. When did I start? I'm trying to think when I actually officially started playing Legion.
Yeah, when was that Learn to Play event that I ran in the store? Is that 2022?
Okay, so when was the first Gen Con after COVID? This is the math that we have to do. We're using COVID as
right. So Gen Con 2020 was canceled. 2021 was when they did it in October, I think. It was really low attendance and everyone was wearing masks. And then 2022 Gen Con would have been back in August.
Yeah. So then the first, it had to be between 2021 and 2022.
Yeah. Wow.
I think. And I think I owned Legion before I actually played Legion.
Oh yeah.
So I remember having
all
the models and painting them up. Yeah. Stuff like that. And then it was a lot of fun.
And then to segue, out of that 8-year history, the Mandalorians might be the largest release for Star Wars Legion. They might be. Either that or the Clone Wars core set or the original core set, right?
Yeah, I would say I would actually probably agree with you. I would say that the Mandalorians is the which is really weird if you want to get weird about it. Probably the largest release with the smallest amount of models.
It's one new unit and then the character box and the customs box. The Mandalorian release is technically those 3 new kits plus rules.
Units. It's 2 new units and then heroes. And then it's 5 armies.
Yeah.
You would say that there's 5 armies because, and I guess we can just kind of fire into it if you want. I mean, the 5 armies are the Covenant, Clan Kryze, or not the Clan
Covert,
Kryze,
Children of
Death
the Watch.
Or Clan Children of the Watch. That's right. They're calling it Children of the Watch, Clan Kryze, Clan Saxon.
Yep.
And then Clan Wren.
Yep. And then Clan Custom.
And then the Custom. But one can say that you could technically have a 6th army by breaking all those rules and taking kind of whatever you want.
As in,
right? So
you could
you could
merc in Clan Kryze into Republic or something.
Yeah. Or, actually, you could take Bo-Katan in with the armor and Din and give her the give her the Darksaber, and then you're kind of adding 2 keywords to that army, because if you make everything Children of the Watch, they're going to get the Children of the Watch keyword. They won't get the special rule, which we'll deep dive a little bit here in a little bit. But they'll get the Mandalorians are stronger together. And so I would say there's almost 6 armies that are coming out instead of 5.
Sure. Yeah. Because you could do Mandalorian soup. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You could do the
Yeah,
soup.
yeah.
You could like there's the 5 affiliations, and then you could do soup, which
Yep.
is technically the 6th army,
Right.
which is wild.
Yeah, and all these rules interact with each other in different ways, and there's layers upon it. I think it's going to be very confusing for all of us to learn as we're like, playing against these different armies, and it's like, okay, so how are you structuring your battle force? How are you, like, which units are you using? And what does that keyword do again?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that. But then on top of that, if you're newer to the game and you're kind of like getting in or you're getting into playing the game regularly with Mandalorians, there's kind of a lot of upfront understanding that you are going to have in order to like be within the confines of the rules. Like, to play this properly,
Right.
I think there's a lot of context that you're going to have. Yeah, and that's kind of what we want to talk about today is like getting started with Mandalorians. What does each of these 6 possible armies kind of look like? And, just kind of an overview. We're not going to do like a bunch of reviews of each individual new unit today, partially because we haven't had a chance to play with any of them, but also because, we are like not we don't want this video to be like 9 hours, so
Right.
so I guess Kevin, without further ado, do you want to talk to us about actually let me talk about the kits really fast, and then can you talk about just like the battle force as a whole, and then we can kind of go from there. So there's one kit that we want to talk about, and that is the Mandalorian Warriors box. Let me see if I can pull that up on Asmodee right now. Mandalorian Warriors. So this one kit is I agree. I love cookies. Okay, so this one box has 11 models in it, and you can build it in 3 different ways. But this is going to be, if you're playing the Mandalorian Army, then this is like the kit that you're going to build many, many times to pull your army together. And so this box can make Mandalorian Initiates, which are like season 3 Mandalorians that all live on the beach together. They don't necessarily have full Beskar armor yet. They're kind of new, or they're like lower tier fighters. And then you've got your Mandalorian Warriors, which is going to be like your standard Mandalorian fighter. They are more skilled. And if you build your 11 model kit as warriors, you're going to have a warrior core unit, and then you're going to have a fire support unit. The fire support unit always has to have a heavy weapon. Your core unit has a little bit more flexibility in how you want to build it out. And the Mandalorian Warriors is probably going to be the crux of most of these armies that we're going to discuss today. And then finally, you can build them as Clan Kryze veterans. And so that would be if you want to play Night Owls, right? If you want to play Clan Kryze, then you would build this box as the Clan Kryze veterans. And that can either be a mercenary unit that you would put into a Republic list or a Rebels list, or you can build the Clan Kryze veterans as part of playing the Mandalorian Army. And like Kevin alluded to before, you can do like a Mandalorian soup with a bunch of different types of Mandalorian units, or if you are only bringing Clan Kryze characters and Clan Kryze veterans, then you can play a Clan Kryze army. So this is like the kit. This is the Mandalorian kit. And then the only other new Mandalorian stuff that's coming out is going to be the Mandalorian leaders. So that is going to be Bo-Katan, X-Woves, not Din, the Armorer, and Paz Vizsla. Yes. And then there's also going to be a custom Mandalorian kit as well, similar to like the custom Imperial Officer and custom Jedi, that you can make a custom Mandalorian. That'll have 2 models in it. You can build it as a commander or an operative. So from a product perspective, that's like the new stuff. And so those are the building blocks that we're working with.
Sure.
Also, notably, they re-release the Mandalorian Super Commandos, which were previously a Shadow Collective unit. And they're re-releasing Clan Wren, which was a Rebels unit.
Yes.
So those are the building blocks.
And honestly, I think you can also buy those boxes, and if you kind of sprinkle them into the Mandalorian Warrior box, you can kind of paint them however you want, and you don't have to worry too much about, these can, you get a little bit more, I guess, flair to your army that way.
Yes.
Like I know that I'm gonna sprinkle in some of my I have a Clan Wren, original Clan Wren box, and I painted the Clan Wren, I painted as Clan Wren. And the colors are Clan Wren. But the extra Mandos that came in that box, I painted as kind of like soup. So they have different colors and, kind of more like initiates.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan on sprinkling those into my like Mandalorian Warrior group, so that they kind of add different poses. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, because they like Mandalorians look like Mandalorians, and so I don't think there's a huge problem with that. So I don't think you're, honestly, I don't believe that you're kind of pigeonholed into, well, if I want to build a Clan Wren, I can only buy Clan Wren Mandalorians. If I want to build Clan Saxon, I can only buy Super Commando box and stuff like that. So I think that you have options of, if you want to buy like one of these boxes, a lot of them come with different like helmet styles, especially the Clan Saxon. You get the spiked helmets and the non-spiked helmets, or Super Commandos, yeah, that you can choose not to put like the spiked helmets on it. At least
Right.
they used to. I don't know if they've changed it in the new box, but
No,
I doubt they would change that.
It's the same sprue. I started building mine in preparation for Mandos. You know what I mean? And so it's the exact same kit.
Yeah.
That it was before.
And I have, because I bought a lot of Shadow Collective, that I have a ton of Mandos from that I'm actually painting up a kind of Clan Kryze paint job of a set of the Super Commandos.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
They'll play as a Clan Kryze. Yeah. Like I will kind of probably stick those in with other Clan Kryze models. And then it kind of gives that, like I said, it adds different poses to your different units. And I think that's okay if you're doing that with extra ones. But I think if you're doing the Vectrans, you probably should stick with the Vectran builds that they have, just because it'll be easier for your opponents to know that that's Clan, Wren, that's Clan Kryze, that's, Clan Saxon. It's going to be hard for me to call him Clan Saxon, because I know him as Death Watch.
Right. Well, and Death Watch, technically original Death Watch was like blue and black, right? But then when they become Mandalorians, then they go red. Well, I'm going to paint my army red. Probably with some like yellow accents and maybe some purple accents or something.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, and to go down the lore rabbit hole, I mean, Clan Saxon that they have now has gone through a different iteration of different names. So the logo that they use was originally, I believe, House Vizsla, right?
Right.
It became Death. No, not that one. The one, if you go to the affiliates. So so the one that's next to the Mythosaur, that one.
Oh,
that's the one that they're using. That's technically Death Watch, which was first was adopted by Clan Vizsla because they were starting Death Watch because they were going away from the they felt that they were going away from their warrior spirit.
Right. Satine was too much of a
the
pacifist. Satine Kryze.
Yeah.
So there's a
So
breakaway.
so Vizsla started Death Watch, which then eventually now is Clan Saxon, because Saxon ended up taking it over. And which Death Watch is not the same as the Children of the Watch. The Children of the Watch are now what used to be Death Watch, and now it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well,
if you like
Death
lore,
Watch became more cultist, right?
Yeah, the Mandalorian lore is like sprinkled throughout so many different shows and books and comic books, and I mean, yeah, I would say if you want to know the start of a lot of Mandalorians, you have to read Mandalorians. You have to start with the comic books and stuff like that. Which is
it's a deep dive.
Not even the comic books. I would say like the books of Revan. Start with that, and then you get a lot of like insight on the Mandalorians there. But if you do the comic books also, I think of Revan, they give you a lot of that too.
I don't know. All that I know is just from
the
Clone Wars TV show. And Kevin, there were 130 something episodes of that gosh darn TV show. I don't remember half of what happens. So,
no, it's fine. Hey, so let's
yeah. Should we talk about
like I got my nerding out over, and we could get back on task. My ADHD rant is over. So let's talk about the clan, like the special rules, I guess, for building as they're labeling it as a battle force. I honestly feel that this is not a battle force. This is kind of its own army.
It's such a robust battle force. It really kind of blurs the lines, right?
Yeah.
So just real quick,
and I think that's
if you're sorry to cut you off. If you're new to Legion,
go ahead.
Legion has 4 main factions, and so you are allowed to play any of the 4 factions, or instead of that, you can play as a battle force. And there's a battle force document that's on the Atomic Mass Games website. And that has the rules that says instead of playing as just one of the 4 factions, which is like a soup, right? Like if you're playing Rebels, you can play any Rebel units. Plus you have some mercenaries you can bring in. Or you can play as a battle force. And then each of the battle forces count as being in a faction or not, and then they're just a mercenary battle force. And then they're going to tell you exactly what you can bring, exactly how many they can bring, and they're going to bend the rules from traditional army building in the battle forces. Some of the battle forces are very similar to like the regular army, right? So like 501st is basically, Republic, except you can't bring Wookiees, and you're limited on some of the vehicles and characters you can bring. But then they give you special command cards for doing that battle force. Shadow Collective was the only mercenary battle force up until like 2 months ago, and so that was a way that was a document that said if you're going to play this, you can ignore the regular mercenary rules. You can bring as many Pikes and Black Suns as you want. You can bring in this other unit called Mandalorian Super Commandos that no one can bring because they're not part of any of the 4 main factions. And so they outlined all of that information in the Battle Force document. And then last month we got the Hondo Anaka gang as a battle force, and then now we have the Mandalorian clans. So when we're referencing like as part of my Mandalorian army, you can bring stuff. This is the document where it says that.
Yes.
And I know it's going to be a goose chase to like find all this information, which is why I'm trying to be really articulate about where it's at.
Yeah, it is kind of spread between a bunch of different kind of downloads, since stuff is like now print to play. They officially launched, depending on when you're listening to this, June 19th. As we're recording it, they haven't released, but you can print up a lot of their cards and their rules. And if you want, it's a good way of starting to practice how to play the army. Um, the one thing I would say is I feel that in this, they've officially considered the mercenaries their own faction. And the only reason why I say that is, and I could be wrong and I could be misreading this, is the clan or the custom Mandos that came out, the hunter and the leader, that are coming out in the leak that was released. It shows that they have, what is it, direct mercenary, and it's not direct Mandalorian trooper, or it's direct mercenary. So I think, depending on how you kind of, and this is to me future proofing.
Yep.
That they are officially going to consider the mercenary. It's kind of, even though they're mercenaries and they can be hired in any faction, are now kind of becoming their own faction in a sense, of where you're going to be able to like sprinkle some of these units together and make a mercenary faction.
And mercenary is also
nice.
a keyword, and so but it's not like on the Mandalorian customs, it doesn't say direct trooper unit with mercenary keyword. It just says direct mercenary. So
yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of interesting, and that's one of their new what are these called? The new the war party leader or Deadeye or battle master that you can get for the custom Mandalorian
doctrine.
Is that what they are? Doctrines? Okay. Yeah. So like war party leader says mercenary trooper, direct mercenary trooper, and I think that's future proofing, but it's also kind of, in my opinion, is that mercenaries are now kind of a faction. Even though they are like a faction of separate armies, to me they're a faction, because I think you're eventually going to see future down the road, and you don't know how long this is, but that you'll be able to sprinkle like the Anaka gang in some Mandos, and like you could take a hodgepodge of mercenaries.
Yeah, sort of a what if I'm going to tell my own story kind of thing.
Yeah. And so that's why I think they're kind of future-proofing that and just saying mercenary trooper.
Sure.
Which I kind of like. All right, so special rules. Let's get into it. Mandalorian clans. All right, I'll just read it off. In the Mandalorian clans, mercenary units do count towards the minimum number of ranks required, and the army may include any number of mercenaries at each rank. All units included in this army must have the same affiliation as at least one commander or operative unit in that army. So this is where kind of the soup comes into play. You can, take Bo-Katan and take Din, and you can make a couple of the Mandalorians warriors. You can make them Children of the Watch, and you can make I believe some of them Clan Kryze.
Right. It's basically saying, like, if you want to bring Clan Kryze veterans, then you need to have Bo-Katan or Axe-Woves in the army, or a custom Mandalorian where you're giving them that creed.
Yeah, where you're giving them the clan creed. So it says, after that, it says, during setup, a player may choose to align their army with the light side or dark side. I think this is also another thing that is future-proofing down the road.
I believe technically in the
see.
rule book it says that like rebels are always light side, republic's always light side, and then that's
Yes.
how you know which force powers your like Yoda can
Yeah.
bring, because republic's a light side army. So technically, as part of army building, every army is either light side or dark side, and this is just saying you get to choose. It doesn't really
Choose
affect
which side
anything
you
right
are.
now. Yeah.
Right now, but like I said, it's future proofing. I
Mhm.
mean, we've seen it, Sabine's starting to gain some force powers. You never know. Might get a Sabine with a force power slot. um why not have a third Sabine?
Why not?
um why not? So here's where some cool stuff comes in. During army building, if all of your commanders and operative units have the same affiliation, your army gains that affiliation special rule. So here's where the things kind of get a little weird. There are keywords that you will see on the card that your affiliation gets. So if you make a Mandalorian warrior unit, so if you do Children of the Watch, and when you select that, you will see they will gain the keyword "This is the way, dodge 1." If this unit is a Mandalorian warrior fire support, it gains "This is the way, aim 1." And "This is the way" is the faction keyword that we'll go over like later. We'll start talking more in depth about faction keywords. I mean, we can kind of discuss it now a little bit. Is when an allied unit with this is the way it is issued an order, choose up to X other allied Children of the Watch units within range 2 of that unit. Each chosen unit performs the action listed by the unit that was issued the order. This is the way. So if you issue an order to the Mandalorian trooper, "This is the way," and you see that it says dodge 1, it means one other unit in the area can choose dodge 1, right?
Yeah, they can take a dodge action.
Can take a dodge action. So one other unit can take a dodge action. And so this is cool on how to get out, tokens to other members, stuff like that. And so that's your keyword. But there is also, if you've chose the armor and Din, now your operatives and your commander match, you get your affiliation, which your affiliation rule is your army may include any number of Mandalorian initiate units, but must still follow the Battleforce rank requirement. When a Mandalorian initiate unit equips a unique personal upgrade, reduce the cost of that upgrade by 5 points. So that's their special rule. So if you are playing nothing but Children of the Watch, then you get this special rule. If, say, then for Clan Kryze, if you have bow and axe as your only leaders, or a special custom Mandalorian leader or Mandalorian hunter, and you choose Clan Kryze, then you get, during the remove token step of the end of phase, choose up to 3 green tokens on allied units. The chosen tokens are not removed. So this is kind of like an army-wide vigilance in a sense, but a little bit better, because you can keep aims. If you have aims, you can keep dodges if you have dodges. This is really cool. You no longer can keep standbys, because I think standbys have been removed.
They are
from the
not a green
list,
token.
right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So
So
that's more or less for just veterans who may be coming back to the game who
right.
didn't realize that standbys have been removed from being a green token.
So if you're doing, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good ability. I want to see if it interacts with the Clan Kryze keyword, which is Mandalorians are stronger together.
Yeah. And then you show the Mandalorian, which is Clan Kryze's keywords are Mandalorians are stronger together, which When an allied unit with the Mandalorians are stronger together keyword spends one or more aim token. After the effect is resolved, it gains 1 dodge token if it is within range 2 of another allied unit with the Mandalorians are stronger together keyword. When an allied unit with the Mandalorians are stronger together keyword spends 1 dodge or more dodge tokens, after the effect is resolved, it gains 1 aim token if it was in range 2 of another allied unit with Mandalorians are stronger together keyword. So you can see how this is very much in sync with, I think, their keyword. I think the clan Kryze plays very well into their keyword because you're getting a lot of tokens just by spending tokens, which is kind of nice.
So like Bo-Katan has tactical 1, right? So she moves and shoots. She gains an aim. If she is within, if she shoots, she spends the aim. And if she is within range 2 of another unit that has Mandalorians or stronger together, she then gains a dodge. And then at the end of the round, if you're only playing Clan Kryze, you get that faction ability that Kevin read off before, and then you can choose her dodge token as something to keep. And then let's say that the next round she gets attacked and you spend that dodge token. She's still within range 2 of an ally, so then she gets an aim, and then for her attack, she gets to just shoot with the aim, right? So like, it's not like you're stacking up a ton of tokens, but it helps you constantly have some kind of token on a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing too is it's not something that they kind of get off the rip, really. It's something that you kind of got to like build up, which this kind of helps keep the, like, once you've built up some tokens, the affiliation like special rule helps kind of keep that engine running by letting you keep 3 of those tokens that you haven't spent so that you can build up, more tokens.
Right.
And that's like with the initiates unique upgrade equip, personal upgrade reduced by 5. That kind of like for them helps them kind of build up and have more tools at less cost. So because you're taking kind of the lower version of the kind of commandos, or I mean Mandalorians. Sorry.
Yeah,
I couldn't get confused here.
Okay.
So Clan Wren, which you will constantly probably hear me refer to them for some reason as Clan Ursa. And I don't know why I have that stuck in my head, but last
Led
time
by Ursa Ray.
at Legion Night, everybody kept going, Clan Ursa. I mean Clan Wren.
Oh my god.
I don't know why. So for their affiliate rule, allied Mandalorian trooper units gain Guardian 1. Units with Guardian X in the army can use the Guardian X keyword on other allied units that have the Guardian X keyword. And commanders and operative units in this army that have the Guardian X keyword can also benefit from backup. So what this is kind of doing is giving the whole clan Guardian, but not removing some of the other keywords, because when you have Guardian, you can't Guardian another Guardian, and you can't give backup to someone with the Guardian keyword.
Correct.
So this kind of negates that, which I think is kind of a really cool rule. And honestly, if you look at their clan Wren, we fight for our family, which is the clan Wren keyword. When a unit with the we fight for our family keyword makes an attack action after the effect is resolved, choose another allied unit within unit with the we fight for our family keyword within range 2. If able, the chosen unit gains 1 dodge token. So this kind of helps in, I would say, um, if you shoot a unit, that unit takes a dodge, then another unit next to it can guardian, and it kind of helps split your damage throughout the whole entire army without kind of over, um, I would say, overcommitting to just like wiping out one unit with constant guardian and stuff like that. So it helps you having to, only have to guardian one, which can help out and stuff like that. They seem like they're a very defensive style of play.
100%.
Which when we get talking about each army, we'll talk about it more in depth. The next faction, Clan Saxon, or if you want to say Death Watch, I will not argue with that fact, because to me that's the Death Watch symbol. When an allied unit defeats an enemy unit after the effect is resolved, the allied unit may make a recover action or may make a speed 1 move. This is really cool for certain what is it? I'm trying to think, like equipment. Some of the equipment can be refreshed. I believe the personal combat shield has, for your Mandalorian commanders and operatives, has recharge 1. So if you don't need to move, you can refresh a shield. So this kind of fits into the clan Saxon's keyword, victory or death. When an allied unit with the victory or death keyword suffers 1 or more wounds from an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, the allied unit may gain 1 suppression token. If it does, it may gain 1 aim token and 1 dodge token. So I think keeping them kind of aggressive is kind of what you want. And then you also are taking suppression. They also have Dauntless. This also helps give them a way of removing some of that suppression or moving them out of kind of danger with a speed 1 move. So I think it's really cool that a lot of these keywords match up pretty nicely with their affiliation.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say this, to be fair, I think they kind of dropped the ball on the Children of the Watch.
Yeah.
I'm having issues with seeing how kind of everyone else's affiliation match up pretty well with their keyword, but I would say that Children of the Watch is kind of the one that doesn't match the most with their keyword. I would say then Clan Wren. I was almost going to say Clan Ursa again.
Yeah, you caught yourself.
Would probably be the next that I would say that kind of it helps, but I don't think it syncs as well as Clan Kryze and Clan Saxon match up with each other.
Kryze and Saxon definitely work really well together. If you're Clan Saxon, you get shot, you take a suppression, you lose a model, you choose to take another suppression to then gain like a dodge. Yeah. Then you later in the turn you activate. Let's say that you are still stuck at 2 or 3 suppression. So you only get 1 action, but you could shoot something. With that, you could maybe defeat an enemy unit, which then gives you either a free recover, or if you want to go hide so you don't get shot more, you get the free move. And so it rewards you for still being able to attack as long as you're not panicked. And that's kind of a cool tightrope you got to walk. And then we talked about the Clan Kryze synergies. I do think Clan Wren, Clan Ursa, is going to be very defensive, like you said. And then the only thing about the covert about the Children of the Watch is that I don't feel a lot of incentive to get that affiliation bonus, right? It lets you bring extra initiates. So initiate units are a few points cheaper. So, but they don't have a special forces unit. So it's almost like you don't even have as many list building options anyway. So like you kind of have to bring initiates. So it's not so much a boon as it is just like a way to make a legal list. And initiates are not really good out of the gate or anything. They're just a little bit cheaper.
No. Yeah, that's yeah, and that's the other thing too is that's why I think that's why the unique personnel upgrade I mean it's kind of nice. I don't know how much that's going to add to the initiate. I feel like the unique personnel upgrade would be what?
So it's literally Din, Paz, or the Armorer, or the 3 units that if you...
Which are kind of expensive already.
Yeah, well, so it does make them cheaper, right? Din as a personnel is 30 points normally, but if you're going Children of the Watch, he's 25. Yeah. Paz is normally 40. If you're doing Children of the Watch, it goes down to 35. Armorer is normally 40. She goes down to 35. My issue is that I feel like in order to build this army, I need these characters to be like in the command hand, like on the table as individual units. I guess you can do like a custom Mando leader, right? And then you make them a champion of the watch. And then, you probably want it like another character though. So like,
yeah, I've been messing around with some of the Children of the Watch list. So you can normally, you're only allowed to take 2 initiates. The Children of the Watch kind of negate that by allowing you to take a bunch of initiates. And this is where I think the initiates, if you're going to go full Children of the Watch, you're going to build kind of like a hero hammer. And I don't think you're going to add the personnel into them. So I don't think that is going to like help them in a sense. Right. I think that they're going to go, you may have like 2 or 3 beef squads of them. Or you could just spam a whole bunch of them with a hero hammer, and then you're just throwing bodies at them because you're going to spend a lot of points, I believe, in your leaders, like the armor syncs very well with giving moves and recovers. This, kind of helps your other heroes with some of their other stuff on them. And, it says move 1. I confuse this on the armor. If you look at hers, this is the way. Means that 1 unit can make a move. And that's if you have a speed 3 unit, it can make a speed 3 move. So it's not just speed 1 move where the first time I was playing the armor, I kept mistaking that and only doing a speed 1 move where it just means 1 unit can make a move action. Right. So which is if you have speed 3 army out there, having 1 unit be able to make it a free speed 3 move is pretty amazing. And then the recover 2 is also really good. And I think she melds really well with the heroes, and I think that's why you have her. And then you do it like a hero hammer. You do Din, you do Paz, you maybe take a Mandalorian leader that has Children of the Watch, and I feel like that's where you're kind of gonna like really spam with that army. But I think I think the affiliate like bonus kind of falls flat Other than if you're going to spam a bunch of initiates because you're going to take like a big hero hammer.
But the problem with spamming the initiates, in terms of like getting a bunch of initiate units on the table, is you're still capped at 6 core. And so if you take 6 initiates, you can take 0 warriors, which means that you can take 0 warrior fire supports. And so then you take your 6 initiates, your 4 characters, and you have 10 activations. Or you can take some warriors, but then you're probably like, I don't know. So like on the screen right now, I have 2 warriors, 2 fire supports, and 4 initiates, and then I have Din Djarin and a Mandalorian leader to try to get the armorer and Paz in units to use that like 5-point discount.
Sure.
I'm maxed out at my 6 core, and I'm still at 933 points and 10 activations. So the only other thing I can add in to this army is a Mandalorian hunter. So I guess you can get to like 11 activations. And this is with me like no heavy weapons on anything except for those uniques.
Sure.
So then so like you're so restricted. Go ahead.
And I think that's why I think that's what they intended, knowing that you're going to probably have to take a couple more initiates because you're probably going to build a hero hammer in a sense. But I still think that there could be a little bit better tweaking on their. I think their affiliate kind of draws short, but not all of them can be winners. So I mean, to be fair. So
now that being said, you can soup, right? And so you can still play a Mando army with the armorer and Din. You throw in Ursa Wren, and then you have some special forces then in the form of Clan Wren veterans.
Yeah.
And now, like, there's some list building there still. So we're just saying that if you're doing strictly covert, strictly Children of the Watch, that list building is challenging. And
yes,
I would have loved no, go ahead.
I think the coverts actually are the best faction to soup.
Mm-hmm.
So not using the affiliate word is, I think they soup well because then they kind of start to treat themselves as mercenaries that kind of get this weird independent on their own. So you start like passing them some orders, and then they're generating tokens for their soup. So I think that's pretty good. I think along with that, I think if you're building soup, unfortunately, I think you have to take Bo because of her Darksaber upgrade.
All right, let's talk about what that is. So
all right.
So Bo-Katan's Darksaber says this unit gains allies of convenience and immune pierce. Allies of convenience lets you issue orders from this character to other units regardless of affiliation. So your Bo command cards can still issue an order to Mandalorian Super Commando or a Clan Wren vet or...
Yes. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be careful. Some of her cards, you can issue them orders because it says units on a lot of their stuff. Not everything says Clan Kryze, but some of the keywords on the, or not keywords, some of the like actions that they do specify the Clan Kryze symbol. So you're not going to get the kind of like on some of her cards the bonuses by giving non-Clan Kryze like that.
Yeah. So like Mandalore will survive as a 3-pip command card that she has. This round, when an allied Clan Kryze unit that has a face supported token makes an attack, After the effect is resolved, that unit may make a speed 1 move. So Kevin's saying you can soup with Bo-Katan, you play Mandalore will survive, but only the Clan Kryze units are going to benefit from this command card. Yes. So that's fine. However, it's probably still worth it because of the other ability that the Darksaber gives you, which is allied Mandalorian trooper units gain Mandalorians are stronger together, which means whenever you spend a token, you gain a token if you're within range 2 of another stronger together Mandalorian unit. And now your whole army gets Mandalorians are stronger together as though you were playing Clan Kryze, but they also still get their other keywords, right? So, if you are playing Bo-Katan as part of your soup army, but then you bring in Mandalorian super commandos, those Mandalorian super commandos have victory or death, which lets them gain tokens after they lose models. So they gain tokens, they spend the tokens, but their Mandalorians are stronger together as well, so then they gain a different token from spending the token that they gained for free. You haven't taken any actions, you're just generating tokens passively, and I don't know, it seems like it
seems really good.
It seems really good. Bo-Katan Darksaber Mandalorian soup seems great.
Yeah, the consensus is from everybody I'm hearing, when you take Bo-Katan, especially if you're playing soup, you're stapling the Darksaber to her. It's so good. You can give orders then by using her. Even if you use the standard Mandalorian token, command cards, then, she can give orders to anybody. I think this is honestly really cool.
So you can't give Gar Saxon the Darksaber and still have Clan Wren units in the army, which is thematic, obviously, from the Star Wars Rebels TV show, where they're kind of at odds with each other. So that's a nice thematic touch. But similarly, Bo-Katan unites all the Mandalorians with her Darksaber. Gar Saxon divides the Mandalorians in that he can't take Clan Wren units with him. So that's like a cool thematic thing as well.
Sure.
Ursa never has the Darksaber, so she doesn't get that.
Yeah. And I wish, though, Sabine would have gotten something like that, too. And it would have been... I kind of wanted a... and this is just me, just for lore purposes, is... I kind of wanted Din Djarin's Darksaber to have, like, a small negative effect.
Because he's bad with it?
Yeah, because he's bad with it.
Well, so it's also like the weakest one, right? Like, immune pierce, 5 black dice, here you go.
Which is true. It's not getting any other extra keywords. That's kind of it. It's nice that it's giving immune pierce. It doesn't say immune pierce to melee, so that's really good. If you're just building around Din, I think you definitely give him the Darksaber. Then, especially with the change to Impervious, which Impervious now only just negates 1 Pierce 1, and you don't roll any extra dice. As long as you roll a block, it negates a Pierce. So if you're going against something that is like Pierce 3, you're still going to take 2 wounds.
Right.
Which is somewhat devastating for Mandos against the Jedi, certain Jedis or Force users, I should say, with lightsabers, like Vader, stuff like that.
So now Impervious is better against Pierce 1 than it was before, because it was only a chance that it would block it, but now it always blocks Pierce 1. But then you had the upside against like a Pierce 3 weapon of possibly basically saving out of it, and now it's just gonna reduce the Pierce value. I think it plays faster. I think this is a quality of life improvement, and so I like it, but it's a change.
I'm gonna go ahead and place the impervious change blame on me for last year at Worlds, not this year at Worlds, but last year at Worlds when I played uh, Shadow Collective, and I pretty much threw like perfect imperviouses almost against um, the Emperor's lightning attack and
Oh,
also Vader's.
you're just
I
like, I'm
remember
just
that
gonna
on
save out,
stream.
save out, save out.
Just gonna save out, just save out with the impervious and just call it a day. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Vader against Gar Saxon, no problem. I'm just gonna go ahead and save out here.
It's
So
extremely
I
rude of you.
apologize to the Legion players. I'll go ahead and put this one on my shoulders and blame myself.
Oh my god.
I should have never saved out on stream like that.
Well,
No,
so
joking aside.
we're kind of talking about souping. I mean, there's a lot of options here, and I think you can soup your favorite characters as much as you want. Again, you can only bring affiliated units if their affiliation matches the characters that you have. So,
yes,
if you are going to soup and you want to give the Clan Wren keyword to your core units, so you want to give them the Clan Wren Creed upgrade card, then you have to bring either Ursa or Tristan or Sabine or...
I don't think Tristan is a...
Oh, Tristan doesn't have
I
a
think
unit.
I think it's
so you
just
have to bring
Sabine
Ursa
or
Sabine or
a Mandalorian
custom
leader
Mando
with the clan. Yeah.
with the Creed. So you have to bring those if you want to give We Fight for Our Family to like your initiates or whatever.
Sure.
Which I do think initiates with We Fight for Your Family are really good because now it's like, you remember the Boyle meta at the end of first edition where Boyle's a Republic clone upgrade that says this unit has Guardian 1. Well, now your whole army is Boyles. And so you can throw in a pair of Mandalorian initiates with, just the Clan Wren Creed. So they gain We Fight for Your Family. They have Guardian 1. And then you're going to soup that with your Clan Kryze veterans. And so then you're going to keep your super expensive Clan Kryze veterans alive by giving them Guardian 1 from 2 different Mandalorian Initiate units. I think that could be very good.
Well, the only problem is they don't get Guardian. So you can't put Clan Kryze in there. Yeah. That only works if you're doing the full-on affiliate. Where you're still right. I think initiates are still good with Clan Wren. I know where your head space was at.
Yeah.
You can't do soup.
We'll come back to that.
But like,
we'll come back to that. Because we're talking soup strategy. And then we're going to get back to the other individual factions. But
sure.
All right, so disregard that.
But so souping, I think, is kind of your like I said, your 6th way of building. There is one more way, which is the custom army, which I know it feels like we kind of skipped over it. It's kind of hard to build this right now because the custom Mandos was, I think, what we know of them is a leak, and they're not officially released, and they're not part of the print and play. So it is hard to build those right now. You can by using what was kind of leaked, and we don't know if there's going to be more. There might be more. You don't know. But when you build pure custom, I think this is really cool because then you can kind of make it the way you want it. You're going to gain 2 keywords. And I think this is where building full custom, you get these 2 following extra rules that you get to choose. Kind of helps because if you're not building custom and you're building Clan Wren or you're building Clan Kryze or Death Watch or Clan Saxon, whatever, and Children of the Watch, you get technically 2 keywords, right? You get the affiliate, and then you get the keyword from that faction. So this kind of balances it if you want to make your own Mandalorian kind of clan. You get to choose 2 of the following
like affiliate abilities, I guess.
Affiliate actions, which kind of then in a sense I like to say gives you kind of like a keyword. Where each time a Mandalorian warrior unit equips the Galar 15 carbine upgrade, reduce the cost of that upgrade by 5 points. Additionally, during setup, you may choose 2 allied Mandalorian units. Each chosen gain Dauntless. That is super cool. And I like this. This gives you a way of kind of getting the veterans, because all the veterans come with the range 3 gun. This kind of gives you a cheaper way of getting veterans without the surge to block. So,
which veterans are you talking about?
When you do so, if you look at like
just to know if you meant like
Kryze
yeah, okay, so it's like any of them, right?
Yeah. If you look like in Kryze veterans, Clan Wren veterans, and the Super Commandos, they all have the blaster rifle built in, and that's what the Galar 15 is the blaster rifle. So
range 3.
If you went a custom way and you needed to get range 3, you would have to tack on extra points, right? So if you're going the custom way, this is kind of helping you get the range 3 band without a like negative effect, without having to spend extra points, because you don't get that surge to block veteran unit.
Right. Right.
Speed, and I think all of them are speed 3 too, right? Yeah. So this kind of helps a little bit. Then the next one is tools of the trade. You may include 1 additional copy of each flame projector, jetpack rocket, and whipcord launcher. I think this is also really cool. This helps you get more kind of tools into your army, because you're allowed to take an additional extra copy of them.
And it's free. These additional copies do not cost points.
Yeah, which is really cool. I think it's really cool.
I think having 3 flamers
so at that point,
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think at that point, if you're going to take tools of the trade, you definitely have to take 3 flamers, 3 rockets, and 3 whipcords.
Yeah,
I mean, you're kind of getting 1 for free. I mean, it's worth it. So, next one is rapid deployment. During setup, you may set aside up to 2 allied units that are not holding an asset objective token, marking the set aside unit with advantage tokens. The first time each set aside unit would be chosen to activate this game, you may deploy it by putting the unit leader onto the battlefield, not within 2 of all enemy units. If able, then put the rest of the unit in cohesion. If you do, that unit is treated as activated and an order token is placed face down. Then the unit loses its advantage token. So this is the old infiltrate keyword.
It's sort of the old. It's old infiltrate. It used to be, I think, range 3. Now it's only range 2, so you can deploy even closer. Although they don't get any actions if you deploy them this way. They just get the face down order. But that's fine. I mean, it's if you're gonna double move with them, wouldn't you rather just place them 12 inches away from enemy units? Like, that seems great.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does. I think it's also sets up a way of possibly zoning an area. Like, you knew that they were going to place snipers over there because they've been building their army all the way on the right side, and you drop like this big unit on the table. You know, it's like a 6-man unit, even though all of its activation is done. If you can, and you're not, they can hold their own until the end of the round, and it's not too early. You're zoning that area. They don't want to drop sniper units there because that's only 2-man teams, and they're going up against like a 6-man team. Um, or it forces them to kind of put a whole bunch of guys there to get them off of a point that you wanted to take early next round. So now you have kind of forced their hand into dealing with this unit because you placed it almost on their side of the board, you know?
Right.
So there's some cool things of doing with this. I really like it. The next thing is they talked about vehicles in the armies, and this is the way you can get vehicles. Guns for hire. You may include a AA5 speeder truck, a TX-225 Gav occupier tank, the Wheelo 5 speeder tank in your army. These units change their affiliation to Mandalorian and gain Coordinate Mandalorian Warrior and Independent Surge 1. This is really cool. It's
really cool.
Kind of gives that we are a broken faction and we had to steal our equipment.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. And I feel like if I'm going to play customs, a lot of times I'm probably going to bring this just to have some sort of vehicle with them.
Yeah.
Even if it's like one AA5, I think it's really cool.
For sure. Well, and I like the modeling, right? Like if I were getting into the game, or if I had a bunch of cash on hand and I was like, I'm going to focus on the Mandalorian stuff. You know, I buy into my Mandalorian army and then I buy like a Gav or whatever. And this is my Mandalorian Gav. And so then I'm going to paint it in whatever scheme matches up with my Mandalorians. It doesn't look like an Empire tank anymore. You know, can you imagine doing like a Sabine style Gav tank or like a Wheelo where, you know, you freehand some Sabine style graffiti and you use these bright colors and stuff. Like
it's like
it's going to look good.
The old, you know, Empire cruiser that Clan Kryze stole.
Yeah.
From, you know what I mean? From the Mandalorian, the show. And on the bottom of it had a big mythosaur skull on it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was super cool. So you could like do the occupier and look like you stole it from the Empire and put a big mythosaur like logo on it and stuff like that.
Oh man, that's so cool.
This is yeah, it's really cool. The custom armies are really cool, and I kind of look forward to testing those out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Feats of Valor. When an allied unit with the army defeats an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, the allied unit gains 1 Valor token. While a unit has 1 or more Valor token, it has Dauntless. While a unit has 2 or more Valor tokens at the start of each of its activation, it gains 1 Aim token, Dodge token, or Surge token. When a unit has 3 or more Valor tokens, it has Exemplar. These bonuses are cumulative. I think this is good if you're going to pump a lot of kills into probably a hero. I think this is hard to stack on one unit, but it does give a unique way of playing because it's going to give like high advantage to a unit that is killing units over and over again.
Yeah.
But also it's going to put a target on that unit because they are getting stronger and stronger as they go along.
Right. Well, I like this on so now in the custom army, can you take any of the veterans? Or in order to do this, you can't, right?
No.
Yeah. So
what's nice about this is if you can get the 3 the Valor tokens on it, this is a good way of getting Surge tokens to the rest of your army. Especially for defending. So
well, I was thinking like, can you somehow get the victory or death keyword on here where it like slows how many models you lose, because every time you lose a model you can gain a dodge, but you cannot because then you'd be changing your affiliation to Clan Saxon.
Yep.
So you can't get that. My initial thought is this actually rewards you for taking beef initiates because of how much health that unit has.
Yeah.
And so then you know, it's just a 10-man squad with the shucker repeater or whatever.
The corn shucker.
And then, you know, as that unit shrinks over the course of the game, you're gaining this valor thing, and then they're becoming potentially quite impactful. Versus like your Mandalorian warrior squads are only going to have six dudes in it, right? It's going to have just the heavy plus your 5. So, I mean, they have impervious as a defensive keyword and duelist, I guess, but I don't know.
I wish they would have got an upgrade that allows warriors to get full Beskar, so they could get the surge to block. And I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit of expensive, because I think that would be nice if you're gonna run the full custom, that you're able to get 2 or 3 Mandalorian warriors at a cost, you know what I mean? That, you know, even if the full Beskar upgrade was 25 points, you know, putting them up to what? That would put them up to like 90 points, right? Around 90 points. Mm-hmm. If they had a full upgrade, then they would feel more like veterans, you know, to like, right. Maybe even if they had like a 30-point equipment upgrade that converted them to veterans, that gave them jump packs and full Beskar or something like that. You know, then they go up to around the 92 points for veterans, and they get the speed 3, and they get surge to block. So they start to feel like veterans. You know what I mean?
Right.
It would have been nice to have that. And this is something that they could add down the road. Or we never know. There might come out custom units where you get custom Mandalorian veterans. You never know what they're going to bring out. Unfortunately, we're not in the loop. So
No. We just get to comment on the same stuff that everybody else knows.
Yeah. So I think it would have been nice if they would have had something like that for the Mandalorian warriors, or even like a keyword where 2 of your warriors or 3 of your warriors can be turned into special forces, and they get speed 3 and surge to block, or something like that, you know.
Turning them into special forces also could help with the issue I was talking about with the Children of the Watch earlier, where you just hit your maximum number of core units, and then you're kind of gated on what you can bring. But
and that's the other thing too, is, and we don't know, they're, like I said, they might have eventually already in the plans, you know, because they've already kind of future-proofed some of this stuff. It seems like that there might be Children of the Watch veterans coming out, and they have, you know, their own uniqueness to them and stuff like that, which I, you know, don't. Why wouldn't they? I mean, to me, that's just another moneymaker.
Right.
So these are things that we could eventually see down the road. Like they come out with custom Mandalorian veterans and Children of the Watch veterans, and then those get added into the army down the road. Mm-hmm. Which I think is a smart thing for them to do eventually, especially if you're going to add units to this faction.
Right.
Which I can't see them not doing. I don't think you'll see them for a while, because we're getting a lot right off the rip, and I think that we know we're going to get a Fang Fighter, or a what is the other thing called?
Not a Guardian. What is it? Gauntlet.
That's it. I knew it started with a G.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure which one it is, because they look so similar. I thought it was a Fang Fighter but I could be mistaken.
In the preview? I think it was a Fang Fighter. Yeah.
I think they're going to be close air fire support. I think that's what we're gonna get for each faction, because
Yeah.
they hinted the X-wing, they hinted the TIE fighter, and then they hinted, I think, a Fang fighter.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it'll be interesting to see what Gar gets.
I'll reiterate
So
this. Yeah, that's true. I think they're gonna get. I don't know. There's a couple things they could get, but I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning, which is this is maybe the biggest Star Wars Legion release ever. I mean, I will tell you that Asmodee North America, this is a week and a half before it comes out, but Asmodee North America is sold out of the single printing of the Mandalorian Army boxes, the Mandalorian leaders with like the Bo-Katan box, X-Woves, the Armorer, Paz Vizsla. So that box is sold out. And they sold out of the reprints of the Super Commandos and Clan Wren. So, like, literally all four releases on June 19th, 2026, they're all sold out. Our rep said that we were super allocated on all of those. And I was like, can I get another? And they're like, nope. So that tells me that if Atomic Mass Games is a fan of money, that maybe making a generic, like a Mandalorian Veterans box that can be built as custom or like a custom creed or Children of the Watch, it would be a way to get some more Mandalorian sculpts out there to kind of vary up how the army looks, and I think people would buy it. So
I think people would buy it in droves.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're 100% right that this is probably the biggest. Which, who knew, right? Think about this. The Mandalorians all started from one character that had 2 lines.
Yeah, Boba Fett. And in the lore, they said he's not even a Mandalorian. He just inherited the armor. He's got the outfit from his dad's closet.
Yeah, who was a Children of the Watch? Who was a part of, I guess, Death Watch?
Yeah,
or Children of the Watch. So yeah.
So Kevin, we're talking about not Supin. We're talking about doing some custom stuff. What jumps out to you as some possibilities of what you could do with that custom creed? Between
the custom creed,
these abilities,
the tools of the trade is really cool to me. I think that's a big, for me at least, since you're not getting the veterans, I think putting a lot of tools on these units that you have is going to be needed. Though it might be hard, because so this is where I think you're going to have to take a lot of warriors and fire support, and your fire support teams are going to end up getting a lot of these extra tools. So if you take 3 warriors, you're going to take 3
fire supports,
fire supports, stuff like that. You might take 6 warriors and take 6 fire supports. Who like truly knows like how you're going to kind of build this? It's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard without taking the guns for hire to get a decent high count. You can do 6 warriors, and I guess you could do 6 fire supports, but I don't think you're going to do that much. I think you they'll want the extra weapons and equipment. I think a lot of your warriors, your regular standard warriors, at least 2 of them, you're probably going to want to put like the shields on them. So you're going to want to be able to put weapons somewhere else, unfortunately, because once again, you're kind of missing out on the surge to block. Veterans. I think guns for hire is a big keyword for them in the choosing to. The veterans keyword is really good. I think the top 4 are probably your best.
Yeah.
And I think Feats of Valor is something more you play for fun.
Yeah, it's definitely very thematic.
Yeah. and I've played, Anakin, and I've played Yoda, and I've played Bad Batch with Yoda, and even getting 3 kills on some of those big units like Anakin, it's tough. It's tough to put, because usually they'll save out, there'll be one guy, and then your next activation is the unit that kills it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's going to be, I think, hard to stack all those defeats onto one unit to get to Valor 3. I think if you do, then that unit immediately kind of has to be kind of like a backliner then at that point.
Right.
Because now it's like generating all this stuff for you and you don't want it to die.
Yeah. Well, also, like, you only get 5 rounds, right? So, like, it's going to be hard it's hard for any unit just to have the time, like, much less, like, even if you have an ideal situation where it's able to kill some squishy bikes and then a sniper team. And, like, I think it's just going to be hard to have, like, most of the time you get 3 attacks with a unit in an entire game anyway. So, So yeah, Feats of Valor is definitely less competitive, but it's very fun.
I think you take the Feats of Valor if you're gonna put dual armaments on one of your or 2 of your like custom units, because dual armaments gives you gunslinger, so then you're getting 2 attacks per turn.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's when you kind of. And can you only take 1 per
dual? You can take as many as you have custom Mandalorians.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's something that you take if you're definitely going to lean into the gunslinger, because then you're getting 2 attacks, and that's a good way of kind of ramping this up. Like, the rest of your army has kind of whittled 2 units down to like 1 or 2 hit points, and then you activate this unit and it gunslingers them both down because it gets high velocity and pierce. So, it's going to get the kills. It also has charge. So, yeah, I think that's kind of a good way of kind of generating that. Especially, there are certain things that kind of stack really nice here. Like, if you take the Gunslinger, you take Feats of Valor, and then you're about to like ramp up this unit, you can play the command card, Weapons Are Religion, and then you get 3 units. Those 3 units get charge, and then Weapons of Allied Mandalorian Trooper units gain versatile. So if you charge in, now you have Gunslinger, charge in, you kill, and then like you Gunslinger out. Or if they have like a flamethrower, you can charge in, kill the unit that you charged into, and then like flamethrower a unit that's within range 1 of you or something.
Right.
So
right.
There are ways of making that keyword work. It is definitely not the easiest keyword to get online.
For sure.
As the rest of them. I think it'll be fun to watch some of these really, really good players mess around with that, and like they come out and they're just able to do it with like, kind of balancing these keywords that I said, and like these attachments and upgrades. And
right.
I think that's the way you have to do it once the custom commanders come out.
Well, there's so much. Yeah, there's just so much, so many different options for building this, that we're gonna see a couple people have success with certain combos, and then people are just going to gravitate towards those. I would really just encourage folks to continue to experiment, because between all the different 100%. Units, all the different loadouts, all the different faction abilities, like all the different command cards, there's so many different things that you can do. And like all things in Star Wars Legion, it's all about how you use it. It's not just like this is the best list.
There's so many different play styles built into this release. I think is really cool. I think that's really, really exciting. And we haven't even talked about the way that you can put some of these Mandalorian units into other armies.
Right.
A lot of these units, if you look at their card, Axe Woves, Rebels, and Gar, you know, Bo-Katan can go into Rebels and Gar. The Mandalorian leader, I think, is a mercenary, right? I could be wrong.
The custom operative.
Is it the custom operative? Okay. I knew
has
one
the
of them
mercenary
was...
keyword.
Yes. Okay. So here's another way of getting another, like a bounty hunter into a faction that doesn't have bounty hunters. Here's a way of getting a bounty hunter in Gar, which is, I think, is cool. It's something that people can add. I mean, you know me, and if you've listened to the show, I'm a huge fan of Mandalorians, and I think they did a really good job on this release.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. As a Mandalorian fan, I might be a little bummed because I feel like they kind of had to, because you're releasing this army. We got a lot all at once, and I don't think we're gonna see much for another year after they're released. I think the next thing we'll see is like the Fang Fighter. But I think down the road, we'll eventually get into the rotation of units that get up new units and stuff like that.
Well, and not only that, but like, let's say that Disney makes another Mandalorian themed piece of media, right? Like, even if it was like, hey, here's an animated TV show that's popular, and there's a Mandalorian character that like leads a special, like, Bad Batch style group of Mandalorians as like side characters in that show. Well, then we create a new character, we create a new unit, and it's got that's like the appropriate mercenary keyword, but then you can also bring it in like in the Mandalorian Battleforce. And then what new combos are built from that, and what new command cards are introduced from the character. Like, this can be a living, breathing thing, more so than we saw with Shadow Collective, and more so than we're going to see with the Onaka Gang Battleforce. Those are kind of like moments in media. It's a little bit of a snapshot where I feel like just Mandalorians fighting as a unified force is sort of a common theme throughout the Star Wars lore that makes me feel like there's more opportunities for growth here than we've seen before.
Yeah. I can agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that there are Mandalorian bikes that we've seen in other versions, so we could get possibly Mandalorian bikes.
Right.
You know, who knows what we're going to get with Sabine? Didn't they just announce a new season? We're going to get a season 5 of Rebels.
Oh, wow. I didn't even hear that yet.
Yeah.
Is that the follow-up to the Ahsoka show?
I don't know. I'm kind of interested if it's like a prequel, or like are they going to tell the story of Ezra on that planet, or are they gonna you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where they're gonna pick up here. It'll be interesting to see where kind of all this happens.
Right.
So yeah, I saw a thing that just stated that I think they announced a Rebel season 5. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but sure. I remember just seeing a little blip article about it. So yeah, I think this is, I mean, it's giant.
It's a giant release.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about it probably throughout the summer. I mean, I'm not sure what future content looks like or how often we're going to be able to record, but you know, I could see us doing a deep dive on all of these, right? Because we haven't talked about the command cards yet. We haven't talked about really any of the unit cards themselves.
No.
You know, literally is like 6 armies just dropped. It's crazy. It's a crazy amount.
It's
oh my god,
so cool. And I think that, like I said, I think this opens the door for ways of them tinkering with certain things. Like I think this is where you're going to first see like the customized unit, and that's going to be it'll be the custom special forces Mandalorian unit. You know what I mean? Like I don't see why you wouldn't give them some sort of veteran unit that has the surge to block, that has the speed 3 that they can add on to this. And it might be a way for them to introduce like I said, not just a single, like the Build-A-Bear commander, it's a Build-A-Bear special forces unit.
Yeah.
Where you add the keywords, you add the weapon profile, you add, just like the custom commanders and operatives.
Right.
I think this is a great way of testing for other factions how that's going to work, because there isn't certain special forces that you could get in there.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, and yeah, I am just so blown away by all the stuff that went into this release. I was just thinking as you were talking about, like, okay, well, I could do custom creed, take rapid deployment to airdrop 2 units in. I'm going to do tools of the trade, so I'm going to get 3 flamers and 3 whipcords, and so we'll put, my 2 airdrop units are going to have flamer whipcords. We're going to play the command card that gives them charge, so they can charge into melee and start messing up my enemy lines. Yeah, and it's just like there's so much that you can do with this, and that's not even including any of the characters or how I might build my customs. So right. I don't know. I just keep
and that's
going back to
one of the things that I think people. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I'm building a lot of Mandalorian lists, and I'm looking at their weapon profiles, and I'm like, sure, the standard warrior is 5, but their blaster rifle is only 1 to 2, and it's only 1 black. It's okay. It's not great.
It's a surging black.
But then I was thinking about it. But then I was thinking about it this way. Well, then let's put on. It's a surging black, which is great. Let's put on the carbine. Okay. So that's 5 points. Let's put on the flame projector. That's another 5 points. So you're up to 75 points. That's fine. Let's also put on the jetpack rocket. Okay. So there's the jetpack rocket. And then let's do the Shucker repeater. Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 different weapon profiles, right? This is only 1 unit that is firing it. It's only 1 guy who's firing this jetpack. So you use 1 guy to fire at the armor. You use 1 guy to flame throw another unit that is going to say it's like a full 6-man unit that's within 1 of you or something like that. So they're throwing 6 black at that. And then you use the rest of the guys with the Shucker and the carbine to shoot at somebody at range 3.
Yeah.
And if you do this using their 3-pip, weapons are a religion, you can do this all in melee.
So, yes, you can because of the versatile keyword. Although, notably, if you charge into melee, you can only use melee weapons. So yes. There's going to be a question about this particular card. If you're already in melee, or you like move in, don't use charge and then attack.
Right, and that's and that's the other thing is like if you move in to melee, don't use the charge attack. Say this is a unit that's already activated, and there are a bunch of units in the area that you can do all this stuff to. That unit is attacking 4 units for 112 points. It's attacking 4 different targets.
Right. Which means you're putting out like 3 or 4 suppression. Like 5
and
if you're able to get the aim.
So if you have an aim,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's 112 points, but that's what we're talking about when it's like how you use the unit matters. How you use these things in conjunction with each other matters. It's not just this is the optimal build. It's finding ways that work for you and how you want to play them.
Yeah. And I don't think that this isn't the optimal build, but I think that's what a lot of people are forgetting when they look at some of the dice pools for this stuff. And they're wondering why, Clan Kryze is kind of expensive. They're 120 points, but they're 5 people where you can add a bunch of this stuff to. And then you have this unit that has surge to hit, surge to block. Tactical 1 can move into certain areas and fire 3 different weapon profiles at 3 different targets.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these Mandalorian armies are going to be able to fire at multiple targets when you need them to.
Right.
And that could be devastating to an army just in itself. When you have 3 units able to fire at 3 different targets all at the same time,
right,
under 1 attack, that's 3 suppression, and then another 3 suppression, and then another 3. You know what I mean? So there's, I think, a lot of fun different play styles that you have to look at with this army, and it makes you think outside the box. I think when you're looking at it, I honestly think that some of the better players who are going to be ready for positioning the Mandalorian units, honestly, I think are going to be Empire players, because they're used to the non-surging red saves. So they're kind of used to having to decide, yeah, it's a red save, but non-surging red saves are not that much better than surging white saves, to be honest with you.
Right.
So it's definitely going to be about positioning, especially if you're going to play the custom faction and not have any of the veterans with surge to block and stuff like that. And even the surge to block, you can't fully rely on that, especially with some of these big dice pools. So you have to find ways of moving these armies around and being able to get as much firepower out of one unit before they go down.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it's not about big dice pools. It's about, in my look at this army, is more about optimizing when you're attacking, what you're attacking at that time. There are, like I said, 6 different ways to play this, and 6 different ways of probably more than that, of how you play that army.
Right.
And I think it's going to be super cool to see how this all comes to be. And
yeah, you're exactly right. We're gonna see the community gravitate towards the first 2 successful kind of Mandalorian builds, and then there's gonna be agitation and how did this get through playtesting and oh man, these are all really good or whatever, and that's fine, but that does not mean that is how the Mandalorian army works. I think there are plenty of ways, right? We're gonna see people try out a custom build, like a custom creed, where you airdrop a bus with rapid deployment and guns for hire, right? And that could be really good, maybe, or maybe you're putting a 150 point unit in your opponent's doorstep, and then it's going to get blasted. So maybe that's not very good, but someone's going to figure out how to make it pretty good. Or we're going to see tools of the trade rapid deployment like I was talking about, and you're going to move 2 units into your opponent's zone, and they're going to whipcord right away and stay safe in melee and lock down 2 enemies. And then at the top of the next round, they're going to use the flame projector to scorch those enemies, rip them apart, and then move in. And you're going to have 2 fully healthy Mandalorians in the middle of your opponent's army, and they're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have the Clan Ursa.
Wild.
Right, it is wild. You're going to have a Clan Ursa player who's going to practice with them for 8 months, and then it's going to show up at Adepticon next year, and they're going to be like, well, turns out when your whole army can guardian each other, you can't kill anything. They're all passing out dodges every time they attack. Turns out Invincible Mandalorian heavy weapons that are 2-man squads that are still throwing 8 dice are still pretty good. Like, there's going to be a lot going on.
Especially with Ursa Wren, Sabine Wren, and Clan Wren veterans all have nimble, so they're gonna spend a dodge, get a dodge.
Oh my god! Right? Like, there's. I was just that's gonna be great.
Just thinking about the rapid deployment thing that you said. It says rapid deployment during setup. You may set aside up to 2 allied units. Okay?
Any units.
2 AA5s with 2 Mandalorian warriors in it, fully loaded. You drop the tank there. Yeah, it's within range 2 of a unit. The unit inside then gets to come out and still activate, right?
Correct. And you get to airdrop the bus. Now, Guns for Hire says specifically you may include a speeder truck or a speeder tank or whatever.
Oh, it's a speeder. Okay.
So you get one, but you airdrop that in, and unfortunately, it's not going to be like the last activation of the round or whatever, because you're only going to have 10 acts or something. But you're going to airdrop your bus in.
Sure.
And then immediately you deploy the transported Clan Kryze vets or whatever the hell you want to put in it. Then your truck gets another action. So maybe they then move and block line of sight. And then your opponent gets to activate. And then you get to go with the Kryze vets. In this example, they're going to jump over the truck and then do whatever they want.
You can't use Clan Kryze vets.
Oh, right. So it would just be Mandalorian warriors.
It's going to be hard to remember this stuff.
I know. That's why we were kind of breaking it down the way we did. But yeah, so you're supercharged, warriors or what have you.
Yeah, warrior.
And so then they're going to jump over the truck and they're going to then use their whipcord to lock down an enemy so that they can't withdraw. And then round 2, they're going to flame projector or whatever you want. Like, there's going to be like cool things that we're going to see this army do. And I want to encourage people to keep exploring. I said that earlier.
I think that's the great thing about these armies, is that there is so much to explore.
Yeah.
And I think, and like I said, we just touched on how to kind of build the army. We didn't even truly go into depth for each faction, which I think we'll probably look into in further episodes of going down the list of looking at each faction. And it might not be a whole episode per faction, but it is the summer of the Mandos, right? The Mandalorians.
Hot Mando summer, baby.
Hot Mando summer.
So then one thing to touch on real quick at the end here, Kevin, is what do you buy if you want to play the Mandalorian Army, right? And if you can get your hand on the Army box, you obviously buy at least one of those. It saves you about $50 USD if you're paying full MSRP. For the box is $140. For the 3 units, they're $63 each. So it's $189. So you're saving $50 just on the 3 units in the box. Plus you get your alt sculpt of Din, and then the armorer, which is cool. But what do you think you buy, and then how do you think you build all those units?
So I think if you can get a box, I honestly think you need to get 2 boxes of the pre-built army. I know you're getting an extra Din sculpt, but depending on how you're able to, you have extra pieces, you can always kit bash the extra Din into an extra model.
That's true.
What I mean? So
that's true. I also think you can save that for prize support in your local community, right? Because a year from now, you're not going to be able to find them anywhere. So, I think holding on to them is also worthwhile.
Sure. I definitely think it's going to be a little pricey to get into Mandos if you don't get an army box. I think you're going to need at least probably 3 or 4 of the Mandalorian warrior boxes. You're going to need 1 or 2 veteran boxes, either Ursa Wren or the Clan Wren box or the Super Commando box.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on how you're going to go, if you want the actual named leaders, you get the hero box, and then I think you get 1 or 2 custom. Honestly, I would say at least start with 1 custom Mandalorian leader when they come out in August, right? It's August they come out?
Yeah. Releases on August 7th is the customizable Mandalorian.
So I was right. Yeah. So in August, you definitely buy 1 or 2 of these. It is definitely not a cheap army to get into if you're going full Mandalorians. The nice thing is if you have another army already and you don't want to go full Mandalorian, I think you kind of slowly get into by buying like a couple veteran boxes and sneaking them into your army, and then you slowly build up that way. You get a couple warriors, you get a couple custom units, but I think to get in at a full 800, you have to get at least 4 or 5 of the Mandalorian warrior units and 1 leader for sure.
Yeah. If you're able to get the army boxes, I would. If you get 1 army box, I would build 1 unit of initiates that you could then use as 2 naked initiates, maybe 1 with a heavy, right? Because they're 5 model squads and it's 11 models in the kit. Yeah. So you do 1 kit of 11 initiates. Possibly could run that as 2 initiate squads if needed, and then you build your other 2 as the warriors, which means you're getting 2 warriors and then 2 strike teams, and that gives you potentially 6 activations. But we said that you're probably so at the bare minimum, then you can do like your leader soup, right, or your leader hero hammer. So you could do like Armorer Din, Paz, custom. Cool. So you can do that. If you are able to get a second box, or if you start adding on more Mandalorian warrior kits after that, I think you default build them as warriors. I think the warrior unit is probably just better rules-wise. But eventually you'll probably want another initiate squad so you can bring 2 beef initiates. So I think there's value there. Or like you said, Kevin, if you start doing the veterans, right? So your Clan Wren veterans, or you buy the Warriors box to make the Clan Kryze veterans, or your Super Commandos, you buy 2 of those for whichever way you want to go. And so even if you only have 1 army box and then like 2 boxes of Clan Wren, for example, you build your 2 Clan Wrens, you build your 1 initiate squad that you run as 2 initiates, and then you run and then you get 2 warriors and 2 fire supports. Plus you get like your Ursa and stuff. I guess you want Sabine in that example, right? But like, I think that's a pretty good place to start. You know what I mean? So
no, I agree with you. I think it's definitely an army that if you're gonna get into, you're gonna have to pull the trigger and fully commit, and it's gonna be a little bit pricey, or it's something that you slow grow, which is kind of nice because there is the slow grow play style that I know a lot of game stores are doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool way for you to kind of eventually to get in, if you want to start with the Mandos and then you just slowly build in and build up on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Slow grow leagues are really nice. Because you only need to, theoretically you're starting at 600 points and you can build that from just 1 Mando army box, right? Your 2 naked initiates and then 2 warriors, 2 fire supports. And then like Din and the Armorer, you can easily build 600 points from that.
Oh yeah.
So, not to mention, you can do customs and that kind of thing too. So cool, man. Well, anything else you want to share right now?
I mean, if we wanted to turn it into a 6-hour episode, we could go on and on and on for for a while with this. Which I think, like I said, it's hot Mando summer. So I think that we're definitely going to have more episodes and get a little bit deeper into each clan and affiliation and try to make some lists and play around with it and have a little bit deeper discussion with it. And I'm super excited. I know no one should be surprised that I'm definitely going all in on Mandos. Even if they are bad and terrible, you will see me playing them almost.
You gotta play what you love. You gotta play what you love, man, for sure.
I do.
Is there a specific build you're gonna start off with, like a certain army from what we just discussed?
I think I'm gonna start, just for now, I'm gonna start with Clan Kryze, just because I really like the veterans. I know they're expensive. I think and also it's hard for me to be the bad guy. Like, playing Shadow Collective is sometimes tough. I don't know why. So I'm not a huge fan of playing Empire. So, and some people would say that Gar is the bad guy, but during the Republic timeline, the clones weren't the bad guys; they were the good guys. So the history would teach you, and remember, history is, I guess, written by the victor. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I have no problem playing the bad guys, so I'm probably gonna start off with Clan Saxon, because I already have 2 Super Commandos from my Shadow Collective collection. So, and Gar Saxon I already have, and Recast I already have, right? So that's I was just gonna get the one Mandalorian Army box, build it exactly the way I just described, and then do my heroes and get the custom box. But I don't know, that honestly, just the value of that army box, it's supposed to come with dice and measuring sticks too, so it's like not just a Battleforce box, it's like a full starter box.
It said that it wasn't going to, and we don't know if that was just the promo boxes that they were releasing at special events. We don't know. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I think it's smart that they're releasing it with measuring tools and dice.
A lot of people are going to want to buy into Legion with this box, and it feels bad if they then had to turn around and buy a bunch of tools and stuff. They might still have to buy the battle decks, but at least having dice and movement tools saves them $60 or whatever it is that they're charging for those. So
but a lot of the battle deck stuff is print to play at the moment too, so
that's true. So you can just print those out. Sweet. Well, I think that's it, right?
For this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna.
I think we've rambled on long enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for today's discussion. If you liked it, please give us a great review on iTunes or Spotify. If you totally loved it, then tell your friends about it in your local Discords or other online groups. It means a whole lot to us. If you saw this on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe so that you can see more hot Mando summer content. This has been the 630 Skirmishers podcast, and until next time, roll good and play better.